Well, good morning, everybody. We're here at the digital news desk here at 7 News. We're doing a Facebook Live to talk about these lake effect snowstorm that we're seeing out there. Of course, some of us are already seeing it, and the snow is starting to pile up. Let me turn down my volume here. So I have the Kris Hudson Facebook page, the 7 News Facebook page, pulled up so that I can monitor comments as we're going throughout this Facebook Live. That way I can answer your questions that you have. As far as asking questions about how much you're going to get at your exact location, just know that I will be going through all of that here as we go throughout this live video. And if you don't see the red live sign, then that means that it is not live and that you're watching it back and you can see all those details. All right, let's go ahead and get a view. It's a beautiful day out there. If you're looking at the St. Lawrence River, seeing a little bit of sunshine out there, a little breezy at times, but not that bad along the St. Lawrence River. Although, as we go down towards Watertown, things start changing. We've got snow on the ground here in the city of Watertown, and we've been seeing that lake effect snow every so often. Further south you go, the worse that it gets, looking down towards Belleville, New York. This is at the Belleville Henderson School. You can see snow already accumulating there and starting to pile up because of the lake effect snow that we are seeing. As far as kind of the alerts that we have out there, we do have lake effect snow warnings for Jefferson, Lewis, Oswego, and most of St. Lawrence counties. That goes until Monday. So yes, excuse me. Yes, we are expecting this lake effect snow to continue. So this is a typical lake effect snow. So like we're showing you, sun shining up along the St. Lawrence River to some locations, seeing near whiteout conditions. That will be continuing as we go throughout the day today and the weekend. Looking at that satellite and radar, you can see that lake effect snow just pretty much sitting over one location. I am expecting it to take just a slight jog to the north to where it's going to impact Watertown, Fort Drum, Carthage a little bit more. And as we go throughout the weekend, it's going to meander around. So even the river communities at times will see a little bit of snow, but you're not going to see a lot of it. If you're in southern St. Lawrence County, you're also going to be seeing lake effect snow, and it's potentially going to be piling up quite heavily. Northern Lewis County, you're going to be seeing some heavy lake effect snow as well. Timing this out for you going throughout the day today, you can see lake effect snow continuing. It's going to fluctuate in intensity like lake effect typically does. And as we go throughout the afternoon, just pretty much continuing to sit over one location there. As we get into the evening hours, it's going to settle anywhere from Watertown down towards maybe Mansville. Those are the areas that we're going to see the lake effect. So pretty much where it is now is where it's probably going to settle back down towards this evening and overnight. And then we're expecting around 2 to 3 feet of snow accumulation overnight tonight for those locations. So we have a lot of snow in the forecast with this lake effect storm, kind of a doozy for us for our first one of the season. As far as tomorrow morning, 6:30 in the morning, you can see lake effect snow continuing. I do think that this model is just a little bit too far south as far as the placement for the lake effect band. I think it's going to be just a little bit further north. But as we go throughout Saturday, notice the band's going to be shifting around some as it oscillates, but that's going to help cut down on some of the totals, which is good news. Because if this sit over one location for a while, we're talking about some very, very big numbers. We're still talking about big numbers, but not nearly as bad as what it could be. So what are our snowfall forecasts talking about? Well, that white area, that's Watertown, Adams, Rodman, Barnes Corners, Copenhagen, Denmark, Carthage, Black River, DeFerriet, Fort Drum, Calcium, all seeing about 65 inches of snow, if not a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and start zooming in here on this map. We're first going to start with Jefferson County because that's where we're expecting the most. But if you're in St. Lawrence or Lewis counties, don't worry. I'm going to be getting to you here momentarily. But Adams, going to be seeing anywhere from 48 to 65 inches of snow, probably closer to that 65 if this continues moving the way that it is. And then as far as out towards Sackett's, we're talking about around 2 feet of snow potentially. The same for Brownville as far as going out towards Chameau. Things start dropping off quite a bit, which is typical for us. We're talking maybe a foot of snow out towards Chameau, dropping by the time we get over to 3 Mile Bay as well. And then, of course, by the time we get up towards Clayton, Cape Vincent, Alexandria Bay, totals drop off drastically. Southern Jefferson County totals will be dropping off as well, as this band is going to be situated pretty much where it is now. That's where totals are going to be adding up quite a bit. So Ellisburg, you're probably going to be in that foot range for snow total, but as far as going over towards Mansfield, probably closer to 2 feet of snow. Worth, probably going to be closer to 2 to 3 feet of snow. Lorraine as well. Going into portions of St. Lawrence County for your snowfall totals that are forecasted dropping off drastically as we get into St. Lawrence County. Governor, probably around a foot to 2 feet of snow, depending on how far north this band does move, dropping off very quickly once we get past that. So Rossi, you're probably going to be seeing 6 to 12 inches of snow, and then over towards Hammond and Morristown, maybe 1 to 6, probably on the lower side of that. Ogdensburg, Messina, Norfolk, Waddington, those areas, including Canton and potentially Potsdam, more likely Potsdam included with this, it's going to see an inch or less from snow, probably less than an inch, if anything at all, and that's because lake effect is not really expected to impact you that much. By the time we get down towards Colton, Pierpont, Fine, Star Lake, Wanakena, totals start jumping way back up, once again in southern St. Lawrence County. You can see that we are talking about Fine getting potentially 2 to 3 feet of snow, Star Lake a foot to 2 feet of snow, and Wanakena as well. And then as you get further out towards Tupper Lake in Hamilton County, things start dropping off quite a bit as well. As far as going down into Lewis County, a lot of you folks in Lewis County are wondering, where's this going to be? Well, it is going to be a little bit outside of the lake effect snow bands. So Lowville, we're talking about Lowville receiving maybe around a foot of snow by the time we get towards Monday evening, but you go up in elevation on the Tug Hill Plateau, things start climbing drastically as far as snow totals. You go north towards Croghan, or northeast towards Croghan, probably around, say, a foot, maybe a little bit less for Croghan. This model that my map that I've drawn here, probably a little overdone for Croghan, but then you go up towards Harrisville, and you're in that 48 inches of snow, potentially, if not more, upwards towards 65, and that includes the Harrisville, Natural Bridge areas. Once you get up to Carthage and Jefferson County, West Carthage as well, 65 inches or more of snow. And then as far as going towards Casterland, probably around a foot to 2 feet, maybe a little bit more than that. Then once we get into southern Lewis County, notice how quickly things drop off. So northern Lewis County could be talking about 65 inches of snow. Meanwhile, southern Lewis County around Turin could be talking about an inch or less. Welcome to lake effect here in the North Country. This is very typical for us. But as far as kind of widening this back out and getting some of the totals once again for you for how much we are expecting here locally at home, we are talking about the potential for 65 inches of snow, if not more, by the time we get towards Monday morning. The majority of the snow will be falling by the time we get towards Saturday evening. I want to show you this for kicks and giggles because I do think it's kind of funny. You're seeing a lot of different things when it comes to snowfall forecasts, and that's the way that it is anytime we have snow, because some places like to show raw model data. So they just show what the model data is putting out there and not adjusting it at all. So what you're going to notice when I show you this is the big difference in my forecast and what this raw model data is showing as far as placement is concerned. Looking at that placement, this is one of our in-house models. Notice the placement is further south. It is focused on the snow belt regions, and we're talking still 65 inches of snow or more, but Watertown only seeing probably 3 feet of snow. I think it's too far south. A lot of times these models have what we call a southern bias, so it thinks that the snow is going to be a little bit further south than what it actually ends up being, so we adjust that just a little bit north. That's where meteorology comes into play, and we start analyzing the data. But I really like the way that it's handling as far as the cutoff just north of the city of Watertown, because just north of the city of Watertown, it's going to drop off quickly and drastically. So I told you this is for kicks and giggles. Look at this total that it's putting out for Montague as we go throughout the weekend towards Saturday evening. Just watch it pile up there. So by Sunday morning, it's saying 84 inches of snow for Montague. Obviously, that's not right. We're not going to see that in Montague. Montague is going to get a hefty amount of snow, but it's not going to be nearly as much as what folks are probably thinking that it's going to be. So that's the raw model data, kind of recapping everything for you here before I start answering questions. The majority of the snow will fall by Saturday evening. Thunder snow is going to be likely, and that's because of how intense the lake effect snow is going to be. We're talking snowfall rates of 3 inches or more an hour, probably on the higher end. So we are talking about the possibility of snowfall rates reaching maybe 5 or 6 inches an hour. So yes, it's going to be very heavy snow. It's also a very wet snow, so it's like cement to move. So be careful when you're out there shoveling snow, maybe snow blowing or anything of that nature. Whiteouts will occur. Driving conditions are going to go downhill drastically here across the North Country. So as with all that said, let's go ahead and take the camera back to me, and I'll start answering some of these questions. I'll leave the snow totals back here behind me. That way we can kind of talk about it, and I can point as we're going through this. I think the snowfall forecast is a really good forecast for us. I'm very confident in this. I think that we do see a lot of snow. As far as showing the raw model data, I was showing you that to show that I'm kind of going on the lower end of a lot of them because there is one of the computer models that we like to use to forecast lake effect snow, and guess what it's showing? It's showing the possibility for over 100 inches of snow. Don't think that's going to happen. But raw model data is a very dangerous thing to just be showing because that stuff is wrong most of the time. Blue sky is in Canton. Not so much down at my house. Down at my house in Adams, I probably have probably 6 to 10 inches of snow already, and it's still falling there. Leaving Adams and going south, should we leave today or will we be okay for Sunday? I do not make those calls for you. Lake effect by Sunday will become a little bit less intense, so that's some good news for you. So if you want to see a bunch of snow pile up, then wait till Sunday. But if you're not comfortable with that, then go ahead and go. Make your own decision on that front. Will power outages be likely? I don't think so. Most of the leaves have fallen off our trees because of all the wind that we've had recently, so that means that power outages aren't going to be nearly as likely. Are they possible? Yes, but I don't foresee widespread power outages. Someone saying, for the love of everything, please not 100 inches of snow. I'm telling you, I don't think that's going to happen. That is my professional opinion. I don't think we're going to see that. I think that model data is wrong. It is skewed. I think the forecast that you're seeing back behind me of 65 inches of snow is a really good bet. Someone's asking about Fort Drum. Fort Drum, you're expecting 48 to 65 inches of snow, maybe more than that. So there is that possibility of seeing more than 65 inches of snow on Fort Drum. So still going to be expecting a lot of snow on Fort Drum. And it all depends on the placement of this lake effect band as well. As most of us are aware of that, if you're new to the area, you're going to learn a lot about lake effect snow if you haven't learned a lot already. But the placement of the band is everything, because as I kind of pause that radar and move in here just to see how wide this lake effect band is for us, you can see that really, in all actuality, it's not that wide. Maybe 20, 22, 23 miles wide at its thickest. And you're going to see 65 inches of snow within that 20, 22 miles. And then outside of that, you're going to see hardly anything. So the band placement is everything when it comes to lake effect totals. If it continues to sit over this area right here where it is, so that does include southern Jefferson County and central Lewis County there, that's where the majority of the snow is going to set up. Now, I will say that we are expecting the band to oscillate throughout the weekend, so it's going to be moving around. That's going to help cut down on totals, but if that band just sits over one place continuously all weekend long, we are going to see a major lake effect snowstorm for us. And still, this is a pretty significant one that we're forecasting with 65 inches of snow potentially for some locations. Someone saying it looks like Adams looks like it's right in the middle of it. It currently is. The band will be moving around though. And this is going to be one of those snows that we're going to kind of have to take a few days to clean up after, just like back in 2022 in November when we had all that snow. It's going to take some time to clean this up, especially with it being a very heavy, wet snow. Will Perch River get the same amount of snow as Watertown? Likely not, because Perch River is north of Watertown. Even though it is just slightly north of Watertown, totals once you get north of the city will start dropping off drastically. Continuing to go through your comments here as we're about 15 minutes into this live broadcast, seeing if there's any comments. I'm not noticing a lot of them, and that to me is a good sign because that means that I've done a really good job of answering your questions throughout the getting ready for this event and continuing to answer those questions as they come in. I'm guessing Evans Mills will be seeing the same as Drum. There's going to be a difference there. So it depends on Fort Drum and where you're at on how much snow you're going to see because of just the location of lake effect snow. You're going to be on the edge of the heaviest of the snow as it is. So if that band is just slightly further south, then the odds are your totals are going to be off from what we're forecasting. It's almost nearly impossible to pinpoint exactly where the cutoff is going to be with lake effect because small changes in the wind make a huge difference. We start looking at the degree in which the wind is blowing. Is it blowing at a 260 degrees or is it blowing at a 262 degrees? So is it blowing at 260 degrees or 262 degrees? That makes a huge difference about where lake effect, the heaviest of it, falls, especially with the outer portions of the bands. Continuing to go through some of your comments here. Someone's asking about Dexter as far as snow totals. Zooming back in on our expected snowfall map, Dexter, you're going to be on the edge of this, the heavier amount. I would say Dexter, good bet is probably somewhere around 2 feet of snow. I think it's a push for you to get 3 feet, but it's possible, but I think more likely right around 2. Let's see here, going through some more of your comments. What about Houndsfield and Sackett's? Houndsfield, Sackett's probably going to see right around 2 feet of snow as you get into the town of Houndsfield, closer to Watertown. Totals are going to start going up quite a bit. Continuing to go through some of your comments, I see someone, David's asking if I can call him after I get done. David, if you would message me about what some of your questions are, then I'll, of course, get back with you on that. I am busy trying to keep everything updated online here at the station, so it's easy to do things through text if possible. Someone's asking about Governor. Governor, expecting probably around a foot, maybe a little bit less for Governor, even though you are in that 12 to 24 inch range there back behind me. If I move this way, you can kind of see it a little bit more, stepping off my stool because I'm short. So there is the possibility that we could be getting more snow than I am tall. What about Lafargeville? Lafargeville, your total is dropping off drastically. I would say with Lafargeville, probably less than a foot of snow. Lafargeville, it's an interesting one. You could literally get a foot of snow or you could get maybe a dusting at best. It all just depends on that lake effect snow band placement. Carthage area, you can see clearly on the map back behind me that Carthage is in the white area, which is 65 inches or more. So I think at least around 65 inches, maybe a little bit less. Obviously, if you get 60 inches and we're forecasting 65, in all honesty, what's the big deal? What's the difference there? That's still a lot of snow. Looking through some more of your comments here, seeing if there's anything else that I can answer. Someone's asking about Cape Vincent. I think you see maybe a dusting of snow in Cape Vincent, so all this is pretty much going to be the south of you. Let me see if I can get this to work for you, and I will show you what we're talking about. Sometimes this camera will work for us, sometimes it won't. So it's working right now. Notice this is along the St. Lawrence River. Currently, this is a live camera. So as I'm telling you, this is what that looks like. That is exactly what that looks like with that lake effect snow. To the south of the river, you can see those clouds there. That's from the lake effect snow coming off of Lake Ontario. So all of it is to the south, because then by the time we get over towards Watertown, pulling Watertown back up, you can see it's snowing here in Watertown. Not snowing too terribly hard, not that bad. But then by the time we get down towards Belleville, things are different. We have more snow down towards Belleville. So it adds up very quickly as you go further south, as you get into that heart of the lake effect band. And you can see that lake effect band kind of just continuing to intensify and move in out there at this hour. Someone's saying that it's slowed down at the moment for Carthage. It's going to fluctuate back and forth, so it is going to change at times. So do take that note and to notice there for you. Coming up 22 through Lowville, maybe 26, do you mean? I'm not sure. There might be a county road 22 around Lowville. Saying that it's getting hit hard right now. I'll go ahead and start zooming back in on some of these totals here, or not totals, but the current radar, and we'll pause it as we do that. So Adams kind of in a little bit of a lull right now. Notice there's a little bit of a gap right there. But don't get too used to it. But as we get over towards Barnes Corners and Pinckney, things start increasing quite a bit. Denmark seeing some heavy snow. The village of Lowville seeing some heavy snow. Croghan, snow starts tapering off for you as you get into that Black River Valley. Over towards Henderson Harbor, things are heavy at times, currently heavy right now. And then as we get over towards Ellisburg, things are continuing to kind of fall down there in Ellisburg. So yes, you're seeing some good, decent lake effect snow down in Ellisburg, Sackett's Harbor as well. City of Watertown, we're right on the edge. That's why it's not the best snow. So you can see that here. Going over towards Champion, then eventually Carthage, you're also right on the edge of the band. So your snowfall rates are going to be fluctuating right now. Someone said not bad between Ellisburg and Mansville, just outside Southwicks. Well, you're closer to the lake, so your temperatures are a little bit warmer. So that's probably helping you, because it does show down that way the potential for a little bit of mixing there closer to the lake shore, because temperatures are closer to the mid-30s as we get closer to Lake Ontario. So that's why this is a very wet snow for us. It's because temperatures are marginal. It's not very cold, so that's allowing more moisture in the atmosphere and allowing for this to be more of the heavier, wet snow. Someone's saying the snow is not sticking to the sidewalks on State Street Hill in Watertown. Yeah, here in the downtown Watertown, it's not really doing that either, because it's more of a messy snow at the moment. As we get into this evening and overnight, that's when things are really going to ramp up. Temperatures start dropping. So everything that is happening right now, folks, is exactly as forecasted. It's happening exactly the way that we thought it would happen which is great news for us. That's giving us more confidence as we get in to our later part of the forecast as we go throughout the weekend with this system. So everything that's happening now was forecasted. It's all on track for the way that we thought it would go. Someone's asking if I think the mall will close. I have no idea. I don't make that decision. Someone's asking about Old Forge as far as snow totals, how much snow you're going to see. You are going to see some accumulation from this, but not a ton of snow. Looking out towards Old Forge, maybe, if you're lucky, 6 inches, maybe a little bit more out towards Old Forge as the lake effect really gets going into the weekend. Someone saying more than 6 inches in Worth already as the snow is continuing to fall. Actually, let me look at something. I can tell you how much snow they've had down in Worth since this morning. So give me just a second. Still monitoring your comments as I'm looking through this. So as far as since midnight last night in Worth, there was 3 inches of snow. Since 6 a.m., there's been 7 inches of snow. So that puts it right around close to a foot of snow for Worth so far today. If you're wondering where you can look at some of the live cameras, they're not really live cameras, but they update every so often. Like I just did to look at the Worth camera. It's Northern Chateau, I believe. Yeah, Northern Chateau, Tuck Hills webcams. Great thing to look at. As far as looking to see where the snow is. Someone says they think they have 6 inches of snow so far in Denmark since 7:30 this morning. Snowfall rates are impressive, and I have to say I've been keeping a track of what's going on back home just so that I know what I'm aware of when I get home later today, because nothing has been plowed or removed as far as snow is concerned. Yes, the Tuck Hill Snow Chasers on Facebook, they are great as well. They're also a hoot, as I like to say. They can be a little wild sometimes. I like talking with them. Someone's asking about predicted snowfall in Watertown by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I think as far as then, the potential for a foot or more of snow for the city of Watertown by tomorrow morning if this band continues to move just a little bit further to the north. Someone says it's snowing hard in Copenhagen. It's probably been snowing hard in Copenhagen for pretty much all morning long, I would imagine, out there in Copenhagen, because that snow is just sitting over you. And that's where we're expecting the brunt of the snow is in Copenhagen. So Copenhagen, your totals are going to be crazy come Monday. And then take a couple minutes to go through some more of your comments here. Barb did just share the link to that website that I used to look at some of the snowfall there. So you can click on that link and look at it. Also, if you have photos and videos of the snowfall you would like to share with us, send those to 7. I have that link shared in the comment section on my Kris Hudson page. I'm sure we will also get that shared on the 7 News page as well. So make sure you're sharing your pictures and videos with us. Even if it's nice and sunny outside, share that and give us your location, because that's part of this story with lake effect and how it's nice and sunny in one location, then another location is getting 65 inches of snow. So make sure you do share those with us, and we'll be getting those online and on air throughout the day. Also throughout the day, just so you know, I will have another update online around the noon hour As far as this afternoon, John Kubis will be in. He's going to be keeping you updated online. We do not have a noon show. We do not have a 5 o'clock show. We do not have a 6 o'clock show, but we'll be on air tonight at 11 p.m. on CBS. And the reason we don't have any shows is because of sports coverage through Fox and CBS. Now, remember that that's going to continue. We have no control with sports coverage. That's all nationally done. We just do what we can. That's why we're here on Facebook giving you updates. And, of course, we're going to keep you updated all day long on the 7 News weather app on WWNYTV.com. So make sure you're using those, going to those to look at those questions and things like that, because we're going to really kind of look at that. Ashley, you don't have to do that. I can see the comment here. Ashley is my producer in here helping me. How long will the snow last? Looking to visit my camp next week. So I can actually pull that up for you. The worst of the snow is going to last throughout the weekend. But the 7-day forecast back behind me, we'll go ahead and take that full so you can see that extended forecast, because we are expecting heavy lake effect snow throughout the weekend. By Monday, it becomes more of a northwest flow that sends the lake effect down towards central New York and impacting portions of, say, Syracuse. Those areas seeing the lake effect snow by Monday, so we get a little bit of a break on Monday and Tuesday with just some light snow showers at times. Wednesday, another widespread snow comes through that looks like a clipper system that's going to impact us. And then back behind that, we start watching the potential for another significant lake effect snow coming in to the forecast. So a week from today, we could be talking about this snow once again in the form of lake effect. But as we kind of turn back over to me as I start wrapping things up, we can kind of talk about what we're expecting and kind of recapping what we've talked about here over the past 30 minutes here on Facebook and YouTube. So heavy lake effect snow continuing throughout the weekend. Snowfall rates getting upwards of 3 inches an hour, if not more. Would not be surprised to see snowfall rates reach 5 inches an hour, if not greater. Thunder snow will be likely. Travel will become very dangerous within these lake effect snow bands. So if you have to travel, take note of where the snow is. If travel bans or travel advisories are issued, of course, 7 News will keep you updated on that on Facebook and online at WWNYTV.com. If you have photos and videos of the snow or a nice sunny day out there, share those with us using Send It to 7. Once again, that link is shared in the comments, should be pinned up towards the top of this. And then as far as going towards the totals, we are expecting Watertown, Fort Drum, Carthage, Copenhagen areas to see upwards of potentially 65 inches of snow, if not a little bit more. So we're going to take the map again for snowfall totals. That way we can see those as we're kind of wrapping things up here. And we'll kind of end on this. That way you can see what we're talking about as far as those totals as things have been updated and this lake effect snow continues. If you have any questions, you can comment those or message me. I'll do my best to respond to them. But once again, as I've said multiple times the past couple of days, there's one of me and thousands of you, so it's nearly impossible for me to answer every question, but I will do my best. So stay tuned to WWNYTV.com for the latest updates, the 7 News weather app for our latest updates as well. John Kubis will keep you updated online and then eventually on air later tonight when we do have a newscast at 11 p.m. And of course, I'll keep you updated the best that I can here on Facebook, on my social media. But I will say I'm probably going to go home and be busy snow blowing and maybe even taking a nap because I've been up since 1 a.m. So a nap is in my future, hopefully. But I think that's going to do it for us here on Facebook. Once again, to keep updated on this storm, download the 7 News weather app or go to WWNYTV.com. And of course, make sure you share your pictures and videos with us on Send It to 7. Have a great day, stay safe, and I guess enjoy the snow.